Hey kids, you're about to listen to a comedy podcast. That means that none of this is medical advice, okay? If you need medical advice or medical care, just go on and contact your doctor.
Welcome to the Jock Doc podcast featuring Dr. London Smith. But remember, all podcasts matter. Introducing your host, Dr. London Smith. But again, all hosts are important, so f*** off, Dr. London.
Hello, and welcome to the Jock Doc podcast, where we discuss fitness and health, and how to incorporate our modern understanding of science and medicine into our daily lives, but without it being so boring. I'm your host, drlondonsmith.com. I would like to begin by apologizing to our listeners. We've received some feedback about the excessive amount of technical medical terms that I've been using, such as hyperbilirubinemia and the turkey says gobble gobble, so I will try to temper my terminology to a simpler one in the future. Here to help with that is our producer Cameron.
Dr. London, now that was an intro.
Thank you. So that was our producer Cameron. Cameron is so dedicated.
I mean, this is our 55th episode, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
We've gone through so much trash just to finally get to the point where you sound like you've used a microphone before.
So you're saying the sound quality is better?
Yes.
Your aura has anything new happened to you? I mean, or should we get to that in a second?
We can get to it in a second, but yeah, I have been doing some new activity. So anyway, Cameron here, he's so dedicated to making sure that our podcast stays relevant that when he heard that Independence Day was coming up, he began drawing up plans for his own independence from what he called the man. So Cameron, I do want to clarify, isn't the man you're referring to just the guy at the end of your block who keeps removing the traffic cones that you have been placing at kind of random spots in the street?
That is a man. I feel like the man requires additional context depending on the conversation. So at that point, yes, I was telling you about how I was putting all the traffic cones down because I thought it would be cool to make my street a little more like RC cars, like remote control cars, and make it fun so everyone has to kind of, as fast as they can, like slalom down the road, ziggly back and forth, and maybe there's some little ramps and stuff like that.
Yes.
And then the guy at the end of my street kept saying, like, you have to stop doing this or I'm going to arrest you.
Oh, so he was a police officer.
I don't think so, and that part terrifies me even more.
Okay. All right, well,
he's just a guy.
Okay.
And he's super tall, and I feel like that's part of it.
That's part of his, like, I guess a power complex?
Yes.
Just a part. He's going to use his height in the arrest in some way, and I haven't figured out how, but it disturbs me to no end.
Okay. Well, also with us is Digital in the house.
Black Lives Matter! They are the only demographic that are being disproportionately jailed, beaten, and killed by the police! How f***ing hard is this for you to understand? Hell yeah! Let's go! Everybody's in the f***ing South. I grew up here, just like you, deep south to Queen, Arkansas, and I understand racial inequality.
And later, Cameron tells me that we can expect a special guest. Oh, 2 special guests. Is that right?
That is right, Dr. London. And actually, I've heard that at the end of this episode, there's going to be a fun surprise as long as you keep listening. I've heard of such a surprise. So hopefully that gives you a little hint, and I'll reveal it at the end of the episode.
Say what?
Wow.
Okay, because normally, like, I'd like you to just share with me things beforehand so we can just... Okay.
That would Leah, let me I'm Santa Claus. Let me just send you a text message real quick with every gift I'm going to bring you for Christmas. You moron.
So usually people, for Santa Claus, people do write a list for Santa. That's actually...
Right, but I'm saying I'm Santa, and I'm telling you beforehand what your gift is. I'm sending you an email that says, hey, I'm Santa, just letting you know, in a couple weeks it's going to be Christmas, here's what I'm going to bring you. I know that's not how it works.
Nope.
Again, I called you a moron really emphatically. I was right to do that.
Okay.
You've squandered all the goodwill you had at the beginning of this episode, Dr. London.
All right, well, before we move on, I would like to address a bit of listener feedback. So I found this note taped to my assistant's forehead when they gave me my morning update before clinic. The note reads, quote, "Too bad they don't make them like they used to, or we could put them in a jar and guess how many were in there," end quote. First of all, I would like to thank you for reaching out to us here at the Jock Talk podcast with that question. So to answer that question, I guess I just feel like these questions, Cameron, I don't know if you find these people, but it really seems out of context. But something that they collect or put in a jar, and they would guess how many were in there. Do you know what this person's talking about?
Well, I'm not a doctor. I've put lots of things into jars that I could count, but I'm not a doctor. It looks like they're wanting a doctor's advice.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was supposed to be doing your job, your medical job too.
No, it's just...
I know I do all the work on the podcast and I do your job here, but I didn't realize I was supposed to follow you to work. You know, you wake up in the morning, I go, oh, London's getting up, I better get up too, and then rush into your office and answer all your patients' questions. Oh, Dr. London, the hip replacement you gave me, my whole body's becoming all hip. Something's happening. And you say, oh, well, I can't handle that. Cameron, you deal with that. And I kill the guy on accident because I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay, well, I guess I only pulled you in for a second on that one because you do sometimes you find patients or people you think are patients of mine, and then you'll speak to them as if, we've conferred on something. Okay. Mm-hmm. So anyway, for this patient, thank you for your question. Whatever you put in the jar, it is fun to guess how many things are in a jar. That's a fun competition thing. I'm not sure if that's such...
He's probably asking for a guess. Just make a guess.
Oh, like a number?
Yes. I think so.
43.
Nope.
Is that... Okay. Thanks for listening.
That's too many. It's too much.
Well, do you have a guess then? Because you can...
Yeah, like 30.
Yes.
Okay.
You can't fit 40 of anything into a jar.
Nope.
Or like drops of water.
Nope. 30, 35 max.
Now for today's medical topic, asthma. Asthma is an obstructive lung disease that is characteristically defined by the triad of airway inflammation, airway hyperresponsiveness, and reversible airflow obstruction. Asthma can begin at any age.
Yes.
Most cases of asthma are...
Dr. London, I gotta jump in here. I'm really sorry, but we've gotten so many comments. It seems like every single episode, half of the complaints we get are that this section is just too dry. We have to make it more fun. And so I think we can come up with relevant ways, medical ways that are relevant to your topic that we can use to sort of liven up this section. So for example, right now you're talking about asthma and you're talking about, respiratory problems. So why not try to do this entire section in one breath?
And that does factor into part of it, I guess.
Yep.
So you think this will be more engaging to the listeners? Okay.
Yeah, I think it'll be something. I don't know what it'll be.
Okay.
But it's better than what's been happening.
So I'll do as much as I can. It might have to be multiple breaths, but I'll try to do as much as I can per breath. Okay.
Okay. Ready?
Okay.
And let me hear the breath. This is an audio format, so we really need to hear the inhale.
Okay. So we have... Okay. And I'm going to do with the lesson for my next
Can
part.
give me a little bit more dramatic inhale? No. More. Bigger.
Okay.
Yes. That's it.
Most cases of asthma are extrinsic, which means that patients are atopic. In other words, they produce immunoglobulin E to environmental antigens, and this may be associated with eczema and hay fever. These patients typically become asthmatic at a young age and can be triggered by pollens, house dust, molds, cockroaches, cold air, exercise, and certain medications such as beta blockers and aspirin, among other things. Intrinsic asthma, on the other hand, is not related to atopy or environmental triggers. Okay, so that was one part.
You're just like David Blaine when he did that magic trick where he held his breath.
I feel like this is kind of the opposite. Not exactly the opposite, but I'm
It's the same thing.
Okay.
David Blaine performed the craziest magic trick I've ever seen, and it he did. Sometimes you see like a Penn and Teller or something, and you're like, oh, I can figure out how to do that. Here's this guy. He holds his breath for like 5 minutes or whatever. Isn't that magic?
Well, maybe. I guess I don't usually measure. I don't time myself that much for how long, but 5 minutes sounds like a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's my favorite magic trick. Is that David Blaine holds his breath.
Oh, that's the because I thought I saw one time he'd like cut open fruit and there was stuff in it.
Oh, I didn't realize today's topic was fruit.
Oh,
Are we talking about fructose all of a sudden, Dr. London?
No, you're right. I'll get back to the topic. Should
now
I
take your inhale?
Okay.
Yes.
Clinically, patients with asthma will typically present with intermittent symptoms, including shortness of breath, wheezing, chest tightness, and cough, which will usually occur within 30 minutes of exposure to triggers. Additionally, symptoms are typically worse at night. Wheezing during both inspiration and expiration is the most common finding on clinical exam. Okay, and this next part is actually where the one breath thing relates to the topic. Pulmonary function tests are required for diagnosis.
Redo it.
Okay.
The breath. Couldn't hear it. No enthusiasm in it. There's no life in it.
Okay.
This is supposed to be excited. There it. Oh. I feel like you're breathing me in. I love it.
Tests are required for diagnosis and may demonstrate a destructive pattern with decreased FEV1, also known as forced expiratory volume, the amount of air they can exhale in 1 second, and decreased FEV1 FVC ratio. Spirometry before and after bronchodilators like a beta-2 agonist can confirm the diagnosis by proving reversible airway obstruction. If these tests are unrevealing, lung function before and after inhalation of increasing doses of methacholine, a muscarinic agonist, can reveal hyperresponsive airways causing obstruction at lower doses. Chest x-ray is normal in mild cases, but severe asthma will reveal hyperinflation. That being said, x-ray is the only necessary in severe asthma to exclude other conditions. If the patient is in significant respiratory distress, arterial blood gas monitoring should be considered to evaluate for hypocarbia and hypoxia. Okay, and now it's...
Have you ever seen this YouTube video called 10 improvised movie scenes that made actors break character?
Yes.
No, does that relate to the treatment of asthma?
No, but it's got The Rock and Ludacris in a movie together. And like I know they were in Fast and the Furious series together, but like this can't be Fast and the Furious. It has to be a different series, right?
I feel like...
Were you still doing the medical topic thing?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Asthma can be kind of a complicated one in some ways, despite how common it is.
I guess maybe my ideas to make this section a little more interesting didn't work, because basically the second you started talking, I was watching this video of Ludacris on The Rock. Doing God knows what.
Okay. So I'll just finish up then. Should I keep doing it the same way, or should I just...
I don't know. Do whatever you want. I don't care.
Okay. But I guess I'll keep it up since I started. So, treatments include short-acting beta-2 agonists, such as albuterol for acute attacks. Then, depending on the severity of the asthma, inhaled corticosteroids, long-acting beta agonists, and leukotriene modifiers may be used in acute severe asthma exacerbation requiring hospital admission. Patients will typically receive an inhaled beta-2 agonist through a nebulizer or meter-dose inhaler. Then, depending on the clinical course, patients may be given IV corticosteroids. If unresponsive to these medications, IV magnesium may be used. Other useful interventions for treatment include supplemental oxygen with the oxygen saturation maintained at over 90%, antibiotics in severe exacerbation or suspicion of infection, or finally, patients may be intubated if they are on the verge of or are currently in respiratory failure.
It looks like Matt Damon broke on the set of Saving Private Ryan. Is that what you're talking? You were talking about that, right?
He broke what?
Well, because the YouTube video, I'm still watching that YouTube video that's 10 improvised movie scenes that made actors break character.
Okay. So
Yeah.
in Saving Private Ryan, he just started laughing too hard?
Well, I don't know.
broke.
It's muted because I have to listen to you talk about whatever the hell you're trying to talk about. So I can't even watch the video properly. But yeah, I mean, he's laughing in it.
Okay.
Are you done?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah, I'm finished with the medical lesson.
So I would give that an A plus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. Just like my blood type.
Yes.
All right. Cameron, you said that we have 2 guests today. Is that right?
We do, Dr. London.
All right. Hello there. My name is drlondonsmith.com, and this is our producer, Cameron. What are your names?
Hello, Mr. Doctor.com. I'm Gary Gurd.
And I'm Glenda Gurd.
And
wow.
we're
Nice to
here
meet
for... Well, it's great to meet the two of you.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Gary. And what were your names again?
Gary and Glenda.
I am Gary.
I am Glenda.
You can tell that I'm Gary because I have the deeper voice.
Yes.
It was difficult to tell when you said it at the same time because
Oh.
I mean, anyone could have been Gary or Glenda in that moment. You know what I mean? I thought I was.
Okay, we'll try it again to make it clear. This is Glenda. I'm with Glenda.
And this is Gary. I'm sitting with Gary.
Yes.
And we're the Gurds.
Yes.
Well, I thought I had it straight, but then whenever one of you says this is... And you're talking about the other person.
I don't know that we went to the right place, Glenda, for medical advice.
Well,
I can't even...
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we definitely. This is not the place for that at all. This is more of a place for like sports talk and like hanging out, and like.
Listen, we are very progressive, very, very progressive people. We
Yes.
give to many charities.
Many
Great.
charities.
That is progressive.
So when I say that I have what is known as a typical male voice, you can hear that would be associated with the name Gary, which is typically a male name.
Yes.
I just don't see what
It's
the problem
okay,
is
Gary.
here. No,
Well, and
I know.
It's a quack.
I'm sorry.
I know.
I shouldn't have...
He is a quack. Yeah,
Yes.
I shouldn't have...
you shouldn't be calling in to us. You shouldn't be listening to this show. You shouldn't be trusting Dr. London for
Well,
anything.
no, hold on.
But-
So...
Yeah, he's a quack. A doctor, more like a doctor, because he's a quack.
You're so angry at him already, and it's justified.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
But it does make me question, why are you a guest on this show? Even though I got you as a guest.
Well, Cameron, when we ran into you at the convenience store, you had very kind eyes. I guess
Yes.
is that the nice way of saying that someone looks a little bit slow? They have very gentle eyes.
gentle.
Gentle
I think
eyes.
gentle
Sorry,
is a better
You
word.
And I
look like
look-
you had very gentle
Yes.
eyes.
I look very sick, too.
Slightly, but not in an overly sick way.
Yeah, just a way where it's like, oh, you've been sick for a very long time. It's one of those illnesses.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Not in a, ooh, sick, but like, oh,
Yeah.
sick.
Not so
Yeah.
much quantity,
Yeah.
but quality, you know?
And
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like Linda and I were saying, like, you know, this Cameron, the sicky boy there, Cameron, invited us on his show.
Yeah.
And this may be his Make-A-Wish.
Perhaps. And because we're charitable people, of course we would.
And no
Thank
wonder
you.
you're so sick if you're, pairing up with a doctor, DrLondonQuack.com.
right?
Yep.
Okay. Well, and I guess I should ask Cameron. So sometimes you go to convenience stores for items, but was this the day that you went there just to push bags of things off shelves? Because you told me this was a mission of yours.
Well, it's not pushing bags of things off shelves. It's pushing things off shelves into bags.
Okay.
Then I take those bags and I put them on other shelves.
Cameron, darling, no wonder you've given up on the will to live, because Dr. Pinocchio there sure is nosy about your comings and goings.
Yeah, he's awful. And that is one thing that Pinocchio was known for, was being nosy.
I am so...
Pinocchio, huge gossip, always getting into people's shit. Pisses me off.
Exactly.
I know.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
So we know that one thing that brought you...
Dr. London, help these people.
One thing that brought you on the show was that Cameron looked ill. What... Was there any other reason?
You know what, Glenda, we're coming in hot again. It's sleep deprivation.
I know. It really is.
I think we need to start all over again, and let's take deep breaths.
I think we could all benefit from a deep breath. Dr. London, you too.
Okay.
Ready?
I don't feel like he really puts his lungs into that. Like, I think he could have taken a much deeper breath.
Yeah.
He sounds like he's asthmatic. I heard a whistle.
Yeah.
And
like a couple of whistles.
like if you're not gonna fully take a breath, then what are we even here for?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I'm sorry. I'll try again.
Please do.
Please, thank you. Is there a barnyard animal in
He sounds
there?
like the
They're-
Triceratops in Jurassic Park that was
Yeah.
constipated.
Yeah.
That's what
Do
it
you
is.
have to go to the bathroom, honey?
Well, irrelevant. It's sorry that my breathing earlier was kind of being criticized, so I thought this was the way to do it, but I guess that it's.
I mean,
anyway.
just breathe the way that you need to breathe.
Yeah, don't put on a show
Yeah.
here. Like, we're here for medical advice, not for your guffaws. I mean,
Okay, well,
just
yeah, and so with that in mind, we can skip over that part, I think. So what medical advice are you
okay.
seeking?
We're coming in very hot. We're very agitated. We understand that. We are trying our best. We are trying.
Level it out.
We're new parents. We're not
Yes.
getting much sleep.
None. Practically
because
none.
We have a condition. I went on WebMD. I believe it's called lazy baby.
Yes.
Our
Oh,
baby
gosh.
is 7 months old.
7
We've
months
given him
old.
the Dr. Spock's books. He acts like he can't even read. To
He-
tell you
Oh
the
my
truth.
gosh.
No.
I am so sorry.
He doesn't read. He doesn't even crawl or walk. We have to carry him everywhere.
Puts the books in his mouth. Like he's just like, oh, I don't understand the concept of food. I'm too lazy to walk
Yeah.
to the refrigerator. I'm just going to put this book in my mouth. We have lazy baby. We've looked at YouTube videos. We've tried the books. We left our tablets with him so he could, maybe diagnose the issue himself. He puts the
sorry.
tablets in his mouth.
Yeah.
What?
When you said you've
What?
tried the books,
Yes.
I do
So-
have to ask, and I'm not. I don't want anyone to be concerned here, but does your child ever put his hands or feet into his mouth as if they're not part of his
Yes.
body
Yes.
at all?
Yes,
all the
all the
time.
time.
Oh,
So
that's-
inappropriate. And we try to tell him,
that's the-
no.
Yep, I knew it, and that's the worst thing you could have said. I mean, Dr. London, do you want to explain to them what's going on?
So one thing they said, they tried the books.
Right.
Yes.
Gary and Glenda did try the books. So usually when people say that they had baby books they tried, they would read through the baby books and then apply the lessons from them.
He wants us to. We're adults. He wants us to read baby books.
No, they're baby books. They're for
Dr.
him
London.
to read.
Baby.
You're telling a bunch of adults to read. Oh, Clifford the Big Red Dog. He saved 9/11 or whatever, and it's like that's not.
No.
Yeah, Dr. London. Why don't you start treating
they're
our guests with a level of
baby
respect?
books.
Baby. Obviously, he doesn't have kids.
No,
he doesn't
he
have
has
kids.
none,
This is
obviously.
ridiculous.
He doesn't even have
This is
a
like
wife.
going to a priest for marriage counseling. He doesn't have a wife.
He doesn't have a wife, and I
Okay.
do marriage counseling. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Oh. Well,
You do doo-doo marriage counseling?
Yes.
Because we're having doo-doo issues too.
We are.
He makes doo-doos in his
diapers. And he won't change them himself.
No, he expects us to do it.
He'll look me in my eyes and doo-doo in his pants.
And you know what sometimes he'll do? Like, it's like he's judging us. He'll pee on us while we're changing the
While
doo-doo.
we're changing the doo-doo. He'll pee onto us.
Have you ever been peed on?
Say what?
Yeah,
Cameron, I know you have.
but it's not nice.
No.
No, it's not.
It sucks.
He won't.
Frankly,
He won't get into his own bed. We have to put him in it.
Dr. London Pinocchio, have you ever been peed on? Is that one of the things you do?
Yes.
When you're
Yeah,
Yes.
it's happened to me, but that's sort of a part of, babies, right? Whenever they're 7 months old, all their skills haven't really grown. They don't have gross or fine motor skills really yet.
He's
sorry.
He's insulting our
First
baby.
of all, have you seen a baby deer? It pops out 2 seconds later. It's walking.
yep.
Yeah.
Like
You think our human child isn't as smart as a deer?
as a deer.
Yeah.
or a baby tiger.
One of the most famous movies ever made is about a baby deer. I don't see a movie being made about this kid who can't even keep it in his diaper.
Yeah, he's lazy.
What's this deer movie? Hold on a second.
The
deer movie, please.
Oh, it's a dog movie. It's Air Bud. He plays basketball.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, so when you
I'm
say
familiar.
when you said deer movie, you meant like it's very dear to you.
Yes.
So with these issues you're describing with a lazy baby, it sounds like
Lazy baby
maybe
syndrome.
syndrome.
Let's use the
maybe
medical
don't
term,
quite
please.
understand the
Exactly.
the developmental stages that humans go through whenever they're at a certain age. So, there are just certain things like they can start to get, like as you said, like maybe not walking around yet. That's pretty
I don't know
normal
what
at that
history
age.
has to do with this. We're not in the Bronze Age, or we're in the Renaissance Age. We're in the nuclear age. All my friends can walk and don't go to the bathroom in their diapers.
Exactly.
I gotta let you guys.
Many of them can read.
I gotta give you guys some insight into Dr. London here. Dr. London speaks down to everyone. So he sees
Clearly.
everyone as this helpless person who can't do anything for themselves, who, maybe like eats all its food out of like a little glass jar, and then sometimes if they eat too much, just spit up just right on your little tummy. That's how he sees people in society. And those of us who actually want to do things for ourselves and, kind of stand up for ourselves and, have some self-respect, we see Dr. London for what he really is, which is, a monster.
Yes, he is a monster. 100%.
I'm sorry. So the comment about the jar, was that a reference to the listener mail?
No, completely separate. So I do think you could probably fit 30 baby foods into a baby food jar. If you did it layer by layer, like kind of like a parfait.
Yeah, I mean, 39 tops.
Yeah.
Not
Anyone who
40.
would guess, 40. You can't fit 40 of anything in a jar.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, and I guess I only question it because Cameron had been so emphatic that he knew nothing about the listener question. I knew nothing, but it sounds like this is a common reference with regard to how in any case, I'm sorry to veer off track like that. So for your baby, maybe consider just looking at developmental milestones that are normal for that age. And
we've been doing that. We go to thebump.com and we bring
Daily.
it up to that website. We've downloaded the application or app for the kids. And he doesn't care. He doesn't care. We've been looking at all the developmental stages.
Yeah.
Condescending doctor.
Have you tried to get him to
This
take
was
a
a mistake.
Myers-Briggs test yet? Because I feel like that would help a lot.
Yeah, it came back negative.
Yeah.
You know how embarrassing
What?
that is?
The Myers-Briggs test came back negative?
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't even know that was
No
possible. Yeah.
No personality.
Yeah,
yet.
zero personality.
Wow.
Like, I just don't understand.
Dr. London, I mean, do you have any piece of advice? You keep talking about like, hey, look up more stuff online. They're coming to you for help. What can you do?
I guess one thing that I can ask is some basic stuff, because of course, if there is, if this baby is lazy to the point of being, lethargic, disinterested.
No, he's
No,
very active.
he's very active.
He's very interested.
Yeah.
In one thing he is good at, he watches the Sesame Street.
Yes.
The Sesame Street.
He will watch the Sesame Street.
He watches.
Okay, that's a great
Elmo.
street.
Yeah, the Elmo
The Elmo and the Cookie Monster.
and the Big Bird.
And the Big Bird.
It's sad
okay.
how the interest in the streets appeals to kids younger and younger these days. You know what I mean?
Oh my God! Oh my God!
know.
I didn't even think about that.
my
Oh my
God.
God!
Oh.
Okay,
Oh,
I'm
God.
gonna turn off the television. I'll just.
You really
don't give
should.
any good advice right now.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, pause.
Don't give
Pause.
any good advice right now. He's
my
not
God.
gonna give any good advice. I gotta
mean,
turn
I
off
guess
the
that's
TV.
true. Okay.
Get away from the streets. Okay.
Did he listen?
Okay, I think he's okay.
I turned it off. He's crying.
He turned it
now.
off. He's just screaming.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
He's in the
Okay.
other.
He
And
doesn't
when
know how to process his emotions at all. All he does
no.
is scream and cry.
Very
It's-
impulsive. I
He
don't know
will
where
not-
he gets it from.
He won't talk it through. He only says like 2 words.
Terrible listener. I don't know where he gets
Horrible listener.
Look,
he won't even look at me.
I'm going to give you a
sometimes.
piece of advice that Dr. London's too afraid to give you. What you're dealing with here is a toxic person.
Yes.
And in 2020, we're getting rid of toxic people in our lives.
Yes.
Because sometimes I just can't even handle this toxicity, like of my friends around me. I have this doctor friend who sucks, and he annoys me, and he keeps stealing most of my socks, I think. And
I don't.
Oh my God.
I put a future feminist onesie on him and he spit up on it.
oh no.
It's okay. Oh, Gary.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Now no
So
one's going to
I-
know he's a male
Bear.
feminist. And that's the whole
I
point.
know.
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping that he'd get lots of puss later on.
Yeah.
It just doesn't look like that's the way it's gonna go.
It's like,
Oh, this is one of those. And I don't want to. That's a kind of an unusual comment to. So just
When he gets
I would say
married,
give
don't
him
be
time.
rude, don't be gross.
Yeah.
When he gets married, he'll have puss.
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah,
Don't be
pervert.
gross.
Unless, because we're allies, and we're allies.
Yeah.
Unless he gets some of that hot dong.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Either way.
Whichever, we're fine.
I would say give it time and maybe try, instead of giving him these apps to read and the books to read, maybe try reading to him some of these things.
Wait, what's this
just-
now?
He's just saying the same stuff he was saying before. Dr. Lennon, you're not listening to this at all.
I just feel like you're just telling us to enable his laziness.
Yep.
That's all that's happening.
Wait a second, Glenda. Though he may have a point. We've tried so much.
Mm-hmm.
We have not tried to assist.
Yeah,
That's true.
because maybe if his arms don't move quite enough or his legs aren't strong enough yet to start walking, then you can assist him a little bit until he is able to, I guess, to make it sort of easier to understand.
There may be physical disabilities at play here right now.
And as a physician, I can tell you, those things can improve with help over time. So if you give him assistance, let's say in 6 months, he might be able to walk and talk a little bit more than he currently can. And what might sound strange about that is that's pretty normal
But one thing you're
at that age.
one thing you're not considering at all, Dr. London, is that our guests are very busy and they have their own lives to worry about.
But Dr. London's telling us to hire assistants.
Yeah. We hire people, right?
Oh.
Oh, okay. I mean, yes, people do hire, like they'll have a nurse around to help, or people do that. That's not so abnormal. Someone to take care of the baby whenever they have to work.
Wow, and you're so
So that's not-
disconnected.
Or just go about their lives.
You're so
correct?
disconnected from the common
we
man
don't,
that
we don't work. We won the lottery. We don't
Yeah.
we don't work.
Oh wow! Wait, how much?
We don't
Yeah.
work.
How much did you guys win in the lottery?
All of it.
Quite
Oh,
a bit, yes.
You won
The whole shebang.
just the state lotto.
You emptied it.
yeah.
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 Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Oh, yeah. It's been great.
Okay, so you won all of it, and that's why you could afford. You're too busy to actually interact with the child
Well,
so
that's
much, but you could.
how we could afford all the baby books.
Yeah.
That,
We're listen, I feel like you're insinuating that we're being cheap when it comes to our child.
Yeah.
That's not the case.
No.
Dr. London.
I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to imply that.
How many babies do you know that have an iPad as a chew toy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably none.
Very few. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dr.
very
London-
few.
Very few.
Name three. Name
Doc-
three, Dr.
Yeah.
London.
Dr. London doesn't even know any babies. He doesn't even know babies.
Oh, great. Now all of his advice sounds like hogwash.
Yeah, it does.
I don't-
thought he was onto something.
Name one.
did too.
Assistance.
Name one friend of yours that's a baby, Dr. London. One.
Well, they're more patients than they are friends.
Well, I can tell you, I'm
they're
losing
not-
patience with you, Dr. London.
You know what friends are? Patients you just haven't met yet.
okay.
That's really sweet.
Yeah. That was really profound, Gare Bear.
Do you want to make another baby?
Yeah.
Like right now?
Sure.
Well, let's maybe
We're gonna do this.
reconsider that.
Oh yeah.
Just because you.
Uh huh. Okay. That's gonna do. Oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
That,
Coming
and it's-
around the mountain when
I
she
don't
comes.
think
As great as this is,
this is right.
When she
Though.
comes.
This seems
Pulling
I don't-
into the station.
almost
Choo choo.
not backwards, but like inside out.
I've arrived.
I feel like this is.
I've arrived.
Oh.
Did you arrive?
I've
I mean, Dr. London, I'm not a doctor, but this is wrong, right?
Nope.
What's happening now?
Yeah, this is the
on our
incorrect
show,
way to make a baby, right?
From what I can look.
I'm sorry.
I don't really want to give advice on how to make a baby within the context of our medical lesson of asthma, which is the focus for today.
But I know that
I'm
usually
getting
there's not a
very
snorkel
sleepy,
involved
Dr.
at all.
London, for some reason. As soon as I take a train ride, if
Yeah.
you will, I get very sleepy.
Whenever he
afterwards.
arrives.
Maybe if you could start holding your breath or trying to form your nonsensical answers with one breath, it might help me stay awake a little bit.
contagious.
Okay, so you're saying that
Oh, man.
it
No,
worked.
I'm
It did
yawning
work
too.
for my medical lesson.
Yeah.
It should
Okay,
be a
so from now
relaxation
on-
podcast. Oh.
I just need to take a deep breath and say everything I'm going to say as fast as I can.
All right, let's go.
Just generally. Okay. So I guess my advice would be
Well,
to
but and the
basically.
important thing is that none of us cut you off when you do this.
I'm sorry. The important thing is what?
That none of us cut you off after you've taken your deep breath.
Okay.
Because you could get lightheaded.
Yeah.
yeah.
Hyperventilating
Dangerous.
is.
If you keep taking deep inhales without really exhaling, you could get lightheaded. So I will not interrupt you.
Thank you for that.
Okay.
Okay,
Go ahead.
so I'll. Okay.
And I think another thing
Yeah,
to
so-
point
but-
out
so-
is that I think no
Cameron,
one.
I was going to say you shouldn't interrupt him either.
Well,
And Glenda, that goes for you too.
Okay. No problem.
okay, so let's all agree right now that we're not going to interrupt Dr. London unless we have
Okay.
something like really like cool to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
Agree.
sounds fair.
Yes. Agreement.
Agree.
Agreement.
Yes.
Agree.
Okay, so. Okay, so
Starting
one idea
now.
we can have with the.
Starting now. Dr. London, are you still? Oh, he's still there.
Doctor,
I was scared that you passed out. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so just one of the things with the child,
you
can
know, one of
actually
the
little
scenes,
books that are made
these
for babies.
improvised movie scenes that made an actor break, one of them is Anchorman, which does make sense because Will Ferrell, I mean, he's a pretty funny guy.
Yes.
I believe it's pronounced Will Ferrell.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
like Get Lucky,
I was coughing some.
like from the Neptunes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I got a little lightheaded there. Did you guys?
I mean, I think we can guess your
Are
advice.
we?
I'm sure it was really interesting.
Oh, you didn't even listen before?
Oh no,
the
it was.
interruption?
I'm sure it was.
No, we totally listened. It
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
it was
super
profound.
cool.
yeah.
It was so
Yeah,
awesome.
we should pop on Anchorman and let Ron Burgundy teach him what he needs to know.
I'm Ron Burgundy?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we got it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were totally listening. And we're definitely not going to go to the diner later and get milkshakes without you. We're not going to do that.
No.
No.
No, we wouldn't do that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess that's do you have any more questions about how to, take care of your child? I would say just like more stimulation, more assistance, like you said, help.
I have a milkshake question now. I know that Shamrock Shakes are a proprietary item. Do you know any diners locally that might sell an equivalent to a Shamrock Shake?
I don't know any diners, but I made this thing in my blender the other day, and it's been sitting there for a little bit because I wanted other people to try it out. I think you might be interested.
Oh.
You know what? We'll have our baby try it first.
Yeah.
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 Great.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
Well, I don't. I'm sorry. What is in what is in that shake that you made, Cameron? What ingredients?
Well,
Like, are they safe for a baby?
4/5 of the ingredients are from the previous thing I had made in the blender and left in there. And then the new 5th that I've added
recycling.
is flour.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thicken it up. Yeah.
Okay, so a follow-up question. What was the thing that you made before that you left 4/5 of it in there?
So the thing I had in there before, 4/5 of that was what I had in there previously that I had blended up and then just kind of like left in the blender for a while. And then the 5th that I added was salt. 1/5 of it was salt.
Yeah.
So a savory shake of
Yeah.
sorts. Yeah, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. These all sound perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So we're going to
issues.
give these to the baby.
Pinocchio getting nosy again.
I know.
Oh, Cameron, what are you making in your blender? It's my business to know. I can't answer questions about babies, but I sure want to know about Cameron and his blender.
We're definitely going to give this concoction to the baby. I think we've all agreed on that. But I do want to recommend cutting out toxic people in your life. And I'm sorry, but it's sometimes the hardest people to cut out are the people who suck the most. And unfortunately, it does sound like that is your baby. And I think so. I would say block his number. Tell him up front, like, be straight about it. I hate people who aren't like just like straight up, you know what I mean? And so be like, hey, like, just you're relying too much on us. You're not doing anything for yourself. Like, you're not taking any initiative. And block them on Facebook, on Twitter, and just tell them like straight up, like, you got to make changes or I'm out of here.
Yeah,
I think that's great advice.
Yeah, that's solid
Thank you.
advice.
Thank you, Cameron.
so much for all of your help.
Cameron.
All I want to
Cameron,
do
you're
is
a
help
gem.
the people. Thank you. I'm just here to help.
So
Yeah.
one small point there. So a baby that sucks well is actually a good baby. Like, that's the ones that can't suck because that's how they get the nutrients.
Excuse me. That's our baby you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's a baby,
Excuse me.
Dr.
Whoa.
London.
Yeah. Whoa. Whoa.
Inappropriate.
whenever they're trying to get milk.
Totes in a propes.
Totes and approach.
Totes in a propes.
So you're saying the only legitimate way to feed a baby is through breastfeeding, using formula or anything like that is fake, and people who do that are fake moms? Is that what you're saying, Dr. London?
Oh, you're calling our baby a leech. Okay.
Well, you can-
First, you said our baby isn't as smart as a baby tiger or a baby deer.
Yeah.
And now you're saying our baby is a leech.
As a leech.
Okay.
Thanks. Thanks a
Cameron,
lot.
your advice about cutting out toxic people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Solid.
It's very solid.
Thank you.
Solid as a
Yes.
rock.
Yes. Solid as a rock.
Just like Chevy
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Chase.
So just one little just a little addendum there. So, Cameron, I was talking about sucking, and so with formula, with breastfeeding, whatever, that all involves sucking.
Oh, boo. Boo.
Boo. I didn't realize this podcast was on Pornhub.
I know. Jesus. Rein it
So-
in.
But obviously, this is just a small but important thing, is that you can actually confer some immunoglobulins to the baby from the mother via breastfeeding.
Oh, now he's talking about magical creatures.
Yeah.
like
Goblins. Give me a break.
Indigo goblins.
First of all, I'm not filled with any goblins.
Yeah, and
so I don't have
goblins
any
are
goblins
green.
that
They're
I'm
not
going to put
indigo.
into my baby. Oh my
Nope.
God. I thought you were a doctor.
Indigo goblins.
I have serious doubts that he's a doctor or he's trained in anything
mean,
other than riling
right?
people up. He's one of these agitators I keep hearing all about.
Mm-hmm.
I keep seeing the word agitator in the news, and I'm like, I know who I'm agitated with.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure.
He's like a setting on my washing machine.
Yeah,
Yep.
100%.
Yeah. So you get your news by one word at a time.
No, I get my news from washing machines.
Yeah.
There was a
so you're looking
there was a
at- you're both
power
getting the same
cycle that
news.
happened the other day that blew my mind. I was not expecting that.
Listen to Dr. London trying to put a spin cycle on this.
Oh man!
That was a good one, Gare Bear.
Hey, can I steal that?
Oh, thank you.
Can I
Glenda.
steal that?
Oh yeah. It's all yours.
For sure,
Okay,
yeah.
that's my
Wanna
joke
make
now.
another baby?
DJ Dylan,
Yes.
replay what he just said, but make it sound like my voice.
Yes.
Do a deep fake. Can we get a deep fake, DJ Dylan?
Yes.
Dr. London trying to put a spin cycle on this.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Now, Dr. London, do you
Well-
have any closing thoughts at all? Just something
Did
that they
he
can...
have any opening thoughts?
Yeah, do you have any thoughts at all? Just something that they
have
can
any
take home?
middle thoughts?
Yeah.
Yeah, so just as we were saying, just remember that maybe helping the baby for now, it's more of an investment that will pay off later whenever the baby grows up a little bit, functions with a little bit more independence, but it is a gradual process. So that can take time. And so it can seem lazy because they can't move themselves very much. But that's just sort of part of the process.
I think we need to have him watch The Mandalorian. Baby Yoda can use the
Yeah,
Force.
Baby Yoda can use the Force. Very, really comes in handy.
Yep.
So, yeah.
All right. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. What you said. We're gonna watch The Mandalorian now.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. Well, while we're here, do you have anything to recommend in terms of, where people can find you and hear some of your advice?
Some of our advice. We came to you for advice. We aren't sleeping at all. I mean,
We're so tired.
sometimes because we don't have the time to actually watch movies, we do listen to a podcast that features a married couple speaking about movies.
Yeah.
It's called You Made Me Watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sound delightful.
Very fun. They are delightful. Very
Sound-
fun couple.
Sound like they know what they're doing with parenting because
Yeah.
they're new parents too.
They
and
are.
they have time to watch movies and then podcast about it.
Yeah. It really seems like they don't have a lazy baby. Like their baby is,
Yeah, their baby sounds great.
their baby does sound great.
Self-sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have they
Well, not
watched?
self-
Have they watched Rear Window, like the Hitchcock film?
I
The
haven't.
baby?
I mean, they have. I don't
think
believe
they
they
have.
have. I believe they're specializing more in 80s and 90s, 70s, 80s, and 90s trash, and 70s, 80s, and 90s kid movies.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I've broken
Yeah.
my leg and I've been looking out at all my neighbors through a telescope, so I had some questions about that. But I'll ask somewhere else.
Oh, you're
Okay.
thinking the Shia LaBeouf movie?
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf's Rear Window, the Hitchcock film.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought that was with Johnny Depp, The Secret Window.
Yeah, the Shia LaBeouf,
Anyway.
Johnny Depp Hitchcock film, Secret Window.
That looks
where-
out
where he
into the
bites
Garden of
corn
Good
at
and
the
Evil
end.
with Kevin Spacey.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that sounds like a great podcast. What was the name of it again?
It's called You Made Me Watch. And, since we don't have the time to watch movies like Blood Diner or Homeward Bound or Streets of Fire or
Babes in Toyland
or Night at the Roxbury, we just listen to these people talk about it. And it makes us feel like we've watched the movie.
Yeah, it's real fun.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess with that in mind, thank you to our guests, Gary Gurn and Glenda Gurn.
Gurd.
I'm sorry. Gurd.
So
I'm very
disrespectful
sorry.
to our guest, Dr. London. They've been here just putting
whole
up with
time.
your BS, excuse my language.
No,
But
it's fine.
the BS
Cameron,
is
you've
peeing me
been
out.
a gentleman.
Yes.
Thank you. And I do want to say closing thoughts just a little bit. It does look like here that one of the other movies that an improvised scene caused the actor to break is Good Will Hunting, and Matt Damon is breaking in that one too. So I think what we're learning here is that maybe Tom Hanks and Robin Williams weren't really that funny. It's just that Matt Damon's got a little bit of a funny bone that gets tickled pretty easily. And so I think you could probably take that advice and apply that to your baby somehow. I'm not going to hold your hand through that because you're your own independent people who can figure stuff out on your own.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know what I'd like to see a blooper reel for?
What's that?
Schindler's List.
Same. Yep.
Yeah. I bet
Yeah,
there were a lot
You
of
think that
laughs.
girl in the red dress is
Morgan
just cracking
Freeman.
up?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Just
for
losing it?
sure. Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
Yep.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
No spoilies.
All right. Well, so thank you to being on the show. Thank you to our producer Cameron for being on the show.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes,
Thank you, Cameron.
Thank you, Cameron.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
we-
you,
we're all
Cameron.
Thankful for.
Just Cameron.
Okay.
Thank you, Cameron.
Thank you to Digital in the House.
Digital in the house.
Boo. I didn't realize this podcast was on Pornhub.
I know. Jesus.
Pornhub.
Rein it in.
Whoa.
Inappropriate. Inappropriate.
Totes inappropriate.
Totes inappropriate.
Totes inappropriate.
Totes inappropriate.
Yes.
Totes inappropriate.
Yes.
Totes inappropriate.
Yes.
Totes inappropriate.
My name is drlondonsmith.com.
Oh, Dr. London, before
Pinocchio.
Dr. Pinocchio, before we leave, I forgot my big surprise
Oh.
that I'm sure you heard a lot about. I'm sure you've been listening, and you can probably guess what my big surprise was that I teased at the beginning of the episode.
Is it a jar?
No, I'm sure you've heard the episode. It was the gift was the episode that we just did.
Oh, that's so nice.
That's magical.
That's really magical.
Wow.
Thank
Sounds like
you.
you almost didn't even need to bring it up at all.
The real podcast was the friends we made along the way.
Yeah, for sure.
That is true.
All right. Well, this has been the Jock Doc Podcast.
See ya.
You feel that something is off. Something that makes your body feel bad, but in your current state, there's little you can do. You cry out for help, but somehow your attempts to articulate your present state of distress do not appear to register in the ears of those around you. Finally, hands grasp you. They pick you up, and you rest against a kind shoulder. You spit up a little as she pats your back, and your body momentarily grants relief to your anguish. About time! Speaking of being a baby, grow up and write your 5-star review of the Jock Doc podcast in which you describe the fulfillment of your infantile needs. And while you're at it, go ahead and share the Jock Doc podcast with a friend or foe. You can send them a link to your favorite episode or just send them our handy website, jockdocpodcast.com. And don't forget to take a peek at our social media posts. We are at Jock Doc Podcast. Thanks for listening.